All right, everyone. This is live from the Cory's audio visual office. I'm Tyler with Newline Interactive, and today we're going to talk about a few things regarding Newline. One, who is Newline? What do we do? How do we get started? What are the products we make? And then why Newline? Why do we want Newline versus the competition? So to jump right into this, what we're showcasing here is called the Newline TrueTouch X7. So this is a 70-inch interactive flat panel. That's basically all Newline does is make giant interactive flat panel displays. So for those here in the room, you're going to see me actually on this presentation, and those watching remotely, essentially all I'm doing is manipulating a giant touchscreen. And I'll get into more details on that as I go. So if you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to ask, and we'll wrap up with question and answers here at the end. Basically, before I get too far into this, the X7 is a giant laptop. It's a giant touchscreen laptop. It's actually no difference than my Windows laptop I have right here. So this thing is a full-blown computer. It actually has a computer in the back. That's what I'm using to run this. It has a full-blown Windows operating system. I highlight that because what you're about to see is me use a PowerPoint, and I don't want you to think there's any smoke and mirrors here. I'm going to pull up a PowerPoint, and I'm going to annotate on it. This thing is a whiteboard, a flat-screen TV, and your projector rolled into one thing. So if you understand that this is essentially a giant computer, either A, controlling my own computer, or B, running off an onboard computer, that's the majority of what this thing's capable of. So all you really need to do is ask yourself is what can my laptop do? And that answer is the exact same for this technology up here. So basically the equivalent of plugging your laptop into a secondary monitor on your desk. Well, that monitor is just for viewing purposes. Well, this X series is essentially that monitor, only it's a touchscreen. So with that being said, I got a PowerPoint I'm going to go through that summarizes a lot of the three things I said to start this off. But the main talking point here is this is simply a giant laptop controlling PowerPoint right now because that's what I decided to open up. PowerPoint gives me built-in pen features. This has nothing to do with Newline. The actual Newline technology demo's on pause. I'm manipulating a PowerPoint the exact same way I do it on my laptop. These pen features go all the way back to Office 2007, I think. But a lot of folks didn't want to use them because they had to use their mouse pad. It was really hard to use. It's very easy when I have a giant 70-inch mouse pad that I can use to come up here and take notes. So for those that are watching this, I'm actually using a wood pencil. It's one of the unique things about the X7 is I could use a number 2 pencil as my stylus. However, the product does come with its own stylus, or you can use your finger. So you can write with literally anything on the screen. Think about it like a giant iPad. But the main takeaway is I'm using PowerPoint's pen features to give you guys this presentation. This is how folks would use this in the corporate space, education space. It's just an all-around versatile tool. And all these notes can be saved on the PowerPoint when I'm done. So two of the things we like to highlight is technology is often made very cumbersome and complicated. We took the reverse approach there. We said we got to make technology that's easy to use and non-proprietary. And here you see a little typo on the screen that was put there on purpose. So if I was actually going to be taking notes on this, I could say, okay, Dave, we need you to update this on 12/31. Because now these notes are going to be saved on the PowerPoint, and I can email that out to the team afterwards. Or like I'm doing here for the majority of it, just use it like a digital laser pointer to highlight and guide people's attention when I'm giving a presentation. So the main takeaway with Newline, the why Newline, is we own the factory that makes the technology. We do this globally. And we make technology that's easy to use. So for the folks that are selling this technology or using the technology, we have to make sure that everyone knows how to use it. We have to also be an easy company to do business with. We keep product in inventory, we keep it in stock, we deliver within a couple days, and usually the install takes about a week or two after that. But the technology is ready to be sold and installed, and when it's installed, folks can use it to its full effectiveness on day one. This is not something that takes a week or 2 weeks worth of learning curve and trainings to get to learn how to use. Because like I said earlier, I'm using a giant computer. If you can effectively use your Windows computer to run your meeting or teach class, this is no different. It's just a little bit bigger. You're going to get sick of me saying that as I go through this too. So it's the main thing I got to hammer home here. And for the folks that have to support this, the IT guys that have to work with this, the end users that have to work with this, we make it non-proprietary. We design it to be future-proofed. So technology is current until it's not. That can very change on different time frames. We do our best to make this thing completely future-proofed. Again, it's like your giant laptop. So you can load your own software on the computer. You can password protect it. And when that computer gets outdated, throw it in the trash and plug in a new computer. It is a non-proprietary design. And integrators, like folks at Cory's, can actually come in and add extra stuff to this. So you guys are able to add cameras, microphones, louder speakers, plug this into daisy chain them into 10 other displays. It's not locked down. And to that note, we have a couple different products. Before I get to that point, Newline is located in the DFW Metroplex. We're based in Plano. Our warehouse is in Richardson. We could actually probably update this slide every couple months at the rate we're growing. We got offices all over the place. So our headquarters is out of Dallas, Texas, though. That's where stuff ships out of, usually a 2-day lead time to anywhere in the continental U.S. This slide is the product slide. So this shows the products that we manufacture. So I prefaced this earlier, but we actually own the factory that makes this technology. My background's in mechanical engineering. I know everything there is to know about what's in front of and behind the screen, but I'm also a sales guy, so I can answer very end-user focused questions. Since this is your projector, your whiteboard, and your flat screen TV rolled into one thing, it's a very versatile tool. Anyone that meets or collaborates can benefit from this. The product we originally started manufacturing was not this product. It was not the X series. It was called the TrueTouch. I now call it the standard TrueTouch. Think about it like a giant touchscreen TV. You got a big flat screen TV at home, looks like a giant black box, and you could look at stuff. Well, imagine that, but now I could actually interact with it. It was a touch screen. It's like a giant digital mouse pad. End users would come and plug in their laptop or integrate a room PC and use this as a mouse pad controlling that computer, or buying it with an onboard computer because they didn't want to use their own. Well, then folks like yourselves at Cory's Audio Video were then adding extra stuff to the TrueTouch per the end user's request. End users were saying, hey, I want to be able to video conference on it. I want to do GoToMeetings and WebEx, so I got to add cameras. And I need to add microphones. So you guys were adding cameras to the top of the TrueTouch, adding microphones into the ceilings, and adding louder speakers. We got the bright idea that said if folks are asking for that, why not just do that out of the box? That's how the X series came to be, which is what you're looking at here. It is essentially the TrueTouch with a little different form factor, and we added cameras, microphones, and louder speakers. The analogy I like to use is it's the Chevy and the Cadillac. TrueTouch is the Chevy. You could buy a lot of aftermarket parts and turn it into a Cadillac, or just buy the Cadillac. So one is not better than the other. It is simply, do you have a lot of existing technology in your conference room or classroom? Because if so, you could just plug that into the TrueTouch. Or are you doing a new build or a complete refresh and it makes more sense to buy the all-in-one unit? So the main difference between the TrueTouch and the TrueTouch X is the X is the all-in-one. It includes the onboard computer. It has cameras, microphones, and louder speakers. So I'll demonstrate that as I get farther into this. I just like to highlight we make different kinds of touchscreens. That's all Newline does is make touchscreens. So when you need an interactive flat panel, you may be the best benefit to come to the guys that do nothing but make that technology. We don't make printers and copiers and washers and dryers. We stick to the IFP market. So therefore, we were told to make a couple different kinds. So moving along, this slide just shows we work with everybody. I mentioned this is a very versatile tool. We've got folks like the FBI, UT Southwestern, a lot of government entities from the federal and local and state level. Sports teams using this technology like the Dallas Cowboys. We've got college teams using this like UCLA and Stanford. Texas A&M on the classroom and coaching side of what they do, as well as corporate folks like UBS, Amazon, Lockheed Martin. The thing I like to highlight here is these guys are extremely different, but they all have common needs. They want a versatile piece of technology that brought in the projector, whiteboard, and flat screen TV into one thing and made it cost effective and easy to use. That's what we did. And I'll get into more of how we separate ourselves from a lot of the folks that also make these touchscreens here at the end of this. But that was the itch that needed to be scratched, and that's where Newline came in. So, and then this last one of these last slides here, this just shows that we're the largest company in the world doing this. Back in 2014, we became the global market leader at making interactive flat panels. Again, that's all we do. That came from the Future Source Report, which is the consulting report in our industry. You pay them a small fortune to get a piece of paper that says where you stand. And that year, we were the top dog in the industry. So we're not some guys out of their garage making this thing. But again, this is all we do. We're in a very niche market. And then this is just the awards slide. We're not the only people that think this is cool. So the marketing team felt it necessary to add this to the last slide of the PowerPoint. So there you go. But we do have some skins on the wall. We do get acclaimed from the the actual hardware and product side, as well as the company standpoint. Our Entrepreneurs of the Year finalists were our president and CEO back-to-back years. We're actually, this one I'm pretty proud of, and the Inc. 5000 list. We're the fastest growing tech company last year in the DFW area. And then this year we were second. It's never been done before in the Tech Titans history where a company has gone in the top 3 back-to-back years. We did that twice. And we're number 149 on the Inc. 5000 list. So of the 5,000 fastest growing companies in the United States, Newline is number 149. So you guys and the folks watching this are not the only people that think this technology is useful and cool. We've been in business for a while now, and it has blown up in a big way recently because a lot of folks are saying this technology is now easy to use. Folks are making it cost effective. Now, who do we want to work with? Well, that's where Newline comes in. So I'm done with this presentation. Keep in mind that was all done in PowerPoint. When I end this presentation, PowerPoint asks me, do I want to keep my notes? Now, all of these notes are saved. They're just waiting to be saved on top of PowerPoint. That had nothing to do with Newline. Those same pin features, a lot of folks like to use in Microsoft Word. I can come into a Microsoft Word document and open up a blank page. Pinch to zoom on it, just like a giant iPad. But Microsoft now gives you pin features. A lot of people that I compete with make you buy their whiteboard software. They make you download special drivers. They're going to charge you monthly for it. When all you really want to do is write, highlight, and erase. Well, Microsoft already gives that to you. I could open up a blank Word document, and depending on your operating system, go find the pin features, and now I can take notes. We make a whiteboard software called IdeaMax. It's great. I love it. I'm biased. I get it. You don't need it. It's free. It comes with the software, and I'll show you here at the end. But it is not a limiting factor to this technology. A lot of folks that want to completely eliminate the learning curve load their version of an image on the computer. They load their version of PowerPoint, Word, and Excel, and open it up because now everyone's familiar with how to use this. I go find my pin button, and now I'm able to write, take notes, and then save this content. I had a lot of end users actually show this to me where they said, hey, I'm like your whiteboard software, but I'm just going to use Microsoft Word, or I'm just going to use the pin features in PowerPoint. Or if I want to pull up an Excel spreadsheet and do the same thing, highlight to assign action items for folks. So Dave, we're just going to load you up again. We need all of this done by 11:28. So that's tomorrow. We are now collaborating as a team, and now I can save these notes and send them out to everybody when I'm done because I'm doing everything in Excel. There's a really cool button that says File, and you can also print and email and save from this really cool button. This is kind of mindless at this point. I get it. It's part of the ambiance that you already know how to do this. This technology unlocks another set of features you may not have known you had access to. You really haven't seen anything unique to Newline other than this is a giant computer, and I stated that to start things off. Still with me? So aside from that, you are able to load your own software on this. Now I have another PowerPoint I'm going to pull up real quick that talks about the actual hardware on the screen. So this is the X series. This is the more, I guess, high-end Cadillac model is the analogy I used earlier. This unit has built-in cameras, microphones, and double the speaker power of the original TrueTouch. So for those that can see this, there are 2 cameras, one on top, one on bottom. I'll fire those up in a second. The reason we have 2 is for different kinds of meetings. This top camera is a wide-angle camera designed for a big meeting that has a lot of folks in the room, or folks like myself that do a lot of video conferencing. I want to be at the board talking directly to people, so I will use the top camera. Other folks like to do interviews and want to sit down around the table. So then I'll default to the bottom camera, which is a close angle camera that's designed to be at table level as you're sitting down. You simply switch between the 2 cameras if you want to. Same with the microphones. There's a microphone array built into the top. There's 4 little holes. These are designed to pick up audio from 25 feet away. And the speakers are 30-watt front-facing speakers. So they get very, very loud in a video conference or movie playback setting. The whole process here was let's take the technology that folks like Cory's audiovisual was already plugging into the TrueTouch, but plug in better versions of that into our X series. So we did microphones that are an array, they're auto gain control, noise canceling, echo reduction. 1080p cameras. They're full HD, not 720p. They're the full 1080p. And double the speaker power that most folks get on their TVs at home to 30 watts. And all tied into an onboard computer running Windows. So the next thing I'm going to show is the actual camera. So you can see that these things do turn on. Here you're going to see this is the actual bottom camera. So this is the close angle camera you see on the screen. There's a remote control that comes with the screen, or swipe down from the top. You're actually able to change the camera yourself. So there's the top camera for a wide angle view. And this is what you would see in a typical video conference setting. If I wanted to come in, jump on a call, and since this is a computer, I can use Skype for Business or GoToMeeting or WebEx, it doesn't matter. But I can then use this to run my meeting. All I did was I turned on a giant computer. This has your own company image on it. So if you decide to use GoToMeeting one day and then Skype for Business next year, we're not going to tell you no. That really jumps into the why Newline. So to bring everything full circle here, what we did on our design process was we weren't the first guys to make this technology. We were able to come in after the fact and listen to a lot of the headaches our predecessors created in the marketplace, such as having a bad warranty process or even needing to go through a warranty process, not being able to deliver product on time. But the biggies were too complicated and too proprietary. A lot of folks that I do business against make their technology very, very proprietary. They want you to use their computers, their software, their drivers, and charge you monthly for it. We don't do that. And we have to make it easy to use for the end user. One of the cool things about the technology we have on the screen is there is a home screen that you can actually customize one of the buttons here. There's a button that says collaboration. I customize that to go to Skype for Business because that's what I use. So when I come into the conference room, this button is designed to eliminate the 11 minutes that is usually wasted getting the meeting ready. Your typical hour-long meeting, all the smart people in the world came back and said there's about 11 minutes on average wasted. Most of that's with technology. Getting the projector to focus, getting the screen to stay down, getting my laptop plugged in, wirelessly connecting to something. This is now tied into one or two button pushes. So here, I could press one button that brings me into software of my choice. In that case, it was Skype for Business. And there's my meeting for Cory's audiovisual. So now once I press join, I'm in the meeting waiting for everyone else to dial in from their laptop or their smartphone. That has nothing to do with Newline. We just added a shortcut onto our interface because that's what end users basically told us to do. So that's more or less sums up the why Newline. We really feel like we've made technology that's painfully easy to use and it's future-proofed. It's not proprietary as we could possibly make it. So folks don't have to come to us every year for that new piece of technology that we specifically left out that we know you're going to need next year. We simply don't do that. So to sort of summarize all this for the guys in the room and the guys watching, all Newline does is make giant interactive flat panels, giant touchscreen TVs. We have two makes and models, the TrueTouch and the TrueTouch X. TrueTouch is your standard interactive flat panel that you could plug in a whole bunch of stuff to. I call it a sushi list item. You tell folks like Cory's AV, I want a giant touchscreen. All right, let's go with Newline. Now what extra stuff do you want? Cameras, microphones, speakers, Crestron room control, wireless connection pieces. Well, if you care about cameras, microphones, and speakers, that's where the X series comes in. It has that all built in. So a lot of folks will use the TrueTouch for classrooms, K through 12 settings, conference rooms, boardrooms. Other folks will use the X series for more of the conference room, boardroom, collaborative efforts. That's the reason to pick between the two is really, do you want to meet and collaborate remotely? If so, you may want to look at the standard X series. If you want to do more of a just in the room teaching, that's where I'm going to be focusing on is folks in the room that I'm physically present with. Maybe look more towards the TrueTouch side. Main takeaways, everything's very, very simple to use. We're an easy company to do business with. We make easy technology, and we're here to help. After the words, we'll offer free trainings for folks that partner up with us. I know you guys are all experts on this technology, but a lot of the times we like doing some of the heavy lifting. So if folks want to get a training, we're not above that by any means. So with that being said, any questions? Nothing. You guys got to have something.
You mentioned the warranty earlier. What is the warranty?
So the warranty. So our warranty, if only I had a whiteboard here I could use. So the warranty comes with a 3-year advanced replacement warranty out of the box. This is a biggie. Not many folks offer the standard. And there's 1 and 2 year extended. So you can get a 5-year warranty max. But this is an actual advanced replacement warranty. All that means is that if there's any issues that Newline can't fix over the phone, I mentioned earlier our tech support is in Dallas, Texas. They're Newline paid employees that do nothing but support our products. It's not some 24-hour hotline that you're going to call some other entity that supports Newline and 10 other companies. They're our guys. If you have any issues that we really can't fix over the phone or something that you guys, Cory's AV, can't go out and fix quickly, what we're going to do is send out a brand new unit before we have the damaged one picked up. So it's not like a lot of the cell phone companies that say, okay, well, your phone's busted. Send me your phone. I'll fix it and send it back to you. And we're just going to expect the end user to not have a cell phone while we fix it. Well, same thing with this technology. We feel it's a very mission-critical device. It's got to be the focal point of the conference room. It's what everything ties into. So it has to work. It can't fail. If it fails, then we're in a world of hurt because Newline doesn't make any more technology to fall back on. This is it for us. So we own the factory that makes it. We know it's behind our piece of glass. Instead of doing the 1 year or 2 year like most folks do, we went up to 3 years, made an advanced replacement, and allow you to extend that up to 5 years if needed. And then on that note, all of our technology is rated for 24/7 use. I think it's 30 to 50,000 hours is the mean runtime between failure. And it's all commercial grade. So it has inputs for everything. Inputs in the front for guests to come plug in their own devices or laptops, and ports in the back for folks that want to integrate wireless boxes or extra displays or room computers. That's a good question. Anything else?
Can you talk to me a little bit about the built-in?
The built-in computer and the Android. That's right. So I mentioned earlier, I didn't talk too much about it. I'm glad you brought that up. All of our units have what's called an OPS slot. Open Pluggable Specification, I think is what it stands for. It's an Intel standard computer. We got the bright idea to add that connector onto all of our displays, TrueTouch and the X series. The cool thing there is it is a full-blown computer. They're boring but powerful. They run Windows whatever. I got folks running Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 10. When Windows 11, 12, 13, 14 come out, you can load those operating systems on these computers. They're not locked down in some proprietary shell like a lot of other manufacturers do. And you can take those computers on and off. So in 5 years, where the display is still kicking, but the computer's outdated, I, the IT guy or network guy, can come take this computer out, throw it in the trash, and buy another OPS computer. Either buy it from Newline, or if Cory's Audio Visual starts selling their own OPS computers, buy theirs, or if Best Buy or Dell starts making them, buy it from those guys. But it's a non-proprietary form factor that can then run the company's image, your own software. It has HDMI out, it's got Cat5 access, it's got wireless network access. It's the guts of a computer in a little box that just plugs into the back. And then, as I mentioned earlier, this does have a limited operating system built into the screen. It's actually running Android. So let's say worst case scenario, computer fails. I usually say a lot of network IT swear words here, like my network went down, there's a virus on my computer, there's no Cat5 cables to be found, and for whatever reason, we ripped out every single whiteboard in the facility. All we have are these Newline pieces of hardware and a working outlet. So in this scenario, the screen itself does have some applications built into it, like its own whiteboard. So remember, this is no computer, no laptop, no room whiteboard. All I have is an outlet and a working X series. Well, I can press the whiteboard button and use that to come in and take notes, change my color, change my thickness. It even has an erasing gesture. And then I could save those notes when I'm done. Now, I compare it to using your iPhone versus your laptop to run a business. Okay, your computer's going to be way more functional than your iPhone, but sometimes your iPhone's convenient. It can do limited things compared to your computer. Well, same with this. Plug in a computer, you're going to get way more functionality than just using the built-in applications. However, there's a time and place when that can be convenient. Not many guys offer that. It's all built into the screen. It just comes with it. No yearly fee, no recurring cost structure with this. It's a one and done.
And you're able to save those off. If you did a meetings full of notes, you can save those onto a drive.
Absolutely. So if you did want to save these when you were done, the most common way is just to save it to a USB stick, or there's ways to set this up on a generic email account similar to how your cell phone works. You set it up on an email account and go from there. Very good. Different makes and models of the computer too. You get i5, i7. It's got upgradable hard drive space on it too. So pretty straightforward. Any other questions?
So as an end user, how do I find out what Newline product works for me?
So the best way would first to be to reach out to, I guess, you guys, and we work in conjunction together. So Cory's audiovisual will have a lot of access to that information, and directly from me, because what we like to do is do demos. So if you guys or anyone here is interested that's watching or in the room, or you guys have folks that are interested in this technology, we either bring them here or can do a remote web demo. I'll set up a Skype for Business web demo where I do a demo on the product in my office, and folks either come here, sit around their office, see the presentation, or give us enough heads up, we can come do an on-site demo. So where I bring the Newline van out, throw a demo unit in the back, and then we'll set it up on site for folks to actually see the presentation. To get to that point, all you really need to do is ask yourself, do I want to really video conference and meet and collaborate remotely? If so, you'll probably be more interested in the X series. If you care more about in the room meetings only, or you have a lot of existing video conferencing gear that you're not ready to get rid of, that's where you're going to go more with the True Touch unit. Make sense? So if that is it, I will wrap this up. I appreciate you's time, and then you guys watching this online too, I appreciate that very much. If you guys have any questions, reach out to these guys, Cory's Audio Visual. They will definitely get you guys taken care of. Thanks.